the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hello, this is Erin Andrea Craske, only for you and only today on the Business Story of the Week podcast.
That is Erin, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for today. This is Josh. I am your host for today, as always. And today's question is: how can transforming your mindset revolutionize your business success? Well, this is precisely the topic that we always talk about. We love talking about this topic on the show. And Erin is the perfect guest to answer that question. Erin is a commercial strategist and a business and leadership success coach with over 20 years of hands-on experience. With a portfolio spanning 40 cross-industry leading brands and global companies, Erin is as real as it gets. I love that intro, by the way. Erin's leadership have transformed mindsets, elevated brand profiles, and driven unprecedented performances, all while fostering authentic and respectful relationships. With a dedication to ethical practice and customer-centric approach, Erin has achieved international business awards in strategy and communications and authored an award-winning practical strategy guide, From Purpose to Profit. And today she joins us on this episode to share her insight, her perspective, her wisdom. Erin, thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing?
I don't actually know any longer. After this introduction, I'm thinking, was it about me? I don't even recognize myself and the way you described it. I guess I'm supposed to feel great, but natural humility
hmm hmm
doesn't let me to enjoy the moment.
Well, of course, Erin, and this is the moment right here, and to have this and to have you right here, let's find a way to enjoy this as well. And of course, we would
Let's give
love
it a
to
go.
have your, ex- we'd love to have your insight, Erin. Of course, I feel like it's natural to feel the way that you do, especially with a remarkable career, spanning 20 years and 40 cross industry leading brands. I want to know more a little bit about that. What initially inspired you to pursue this path in commercial strategy? And did the young Erin always?
Never. No.
Oh,
Yeah, so I actually appeared to be in business because of my languages, and it led me opportunity to join a big company because of the languages that
interesting.
I knew. I
Mhm.
didn't know anything about business. I didn't know what or who I wanted to become. And
Interesting.
while being in this company, I realized that the thing that interests me the most are brands,
Mm.
being taking care of the brands. And it's not, I guess it was driven by two things. The first one is creativity and artistry.
Mhm.
And absolutely love it. That's 100% me. And another thing about brand strategy is psychology,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I believe that to be a strategist, you have to be a psychologist first and foremost.
I
So
love that.
combining both, you can
Mhm.
become a fantastic brand strategist, because nothing in brand strategy comes from you apart from
Mm.
the knowledge of how to do it.
Exactly.
Everything is coming from consumers, and you need to be able to listen to them and interpret what they're talking
Mhm.
about, or
Mhm.
discover the insight that they don't know but they have it somewhere hidden within. And that I found absolutely fascinating at the job. And
Mhm.
this is how, from that company where I was part of the trade marketing service,
I love
I
that.
then transitioned into different companies where I
Wow.
took over brand strategy.
I love that. And this is what you help them. You help them figure out that pathway when it comes to brand strategy, when it comes to really kind of putting together a proper way of delivering, like a business strategy as well, right? You of course have an award-winning strategy guide, highly acclaimed by the way, titled From Purpose to Profit. It has garnered much acclaim. Can you share a key principle from this guy that you believe is crucial in business success, whatever business that might be?
Oh dear, I don't believe there's only one thing, although
Oh.
as a brand strategist, I'm supposed to be able to narrow it down to one very important message.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, there are a few. So the
Mm-hmm.
first one of the most important, I believe, is that strategy in business is not about you, it's about your customers.
That's
It's
it.
not about what you sell, it's about what they buy.
Wow.
So if you want to create a self-selling brand, you need to be able to translate their insights
Wow.
into what you want to sell. So that is
Wow.
the most important thing, because they will be opening their wallets to pay for
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're offering. So that's one thing. Another thing that is important, and I experienced it firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
there's no difference whether you build a B2B brand or B2C brand or
Oh.
B2B2C, P2P, although markets suggest that approaches are different.
Oh.
But this suggestion that comes from the market just means that B2B brands are damn boring. This is what's happening. Because in either industry,
Mm-hmm.
whoever purchasing your products or services, they're human beings and they
Mm-hmm.
have to connect. And in B2B, they're no different human beings than those that are B2C. So
Mm-hmm.
again, you need to understand psychology. Yes, it's going to have some different things to it. You may additional questions to understand what
Mm-hmm.
drives them, what their motivations and values are. But in
Mm-hmm.
reality, more differentiated and more energetic you are, appealing as a brand, whether it's
Wow.
B2B or B2C, you're going to have more chances to be noticed and to
Right.
be accepted by your target audience.
I love
Um,
that.
thank you.
I mean, of
And yeah,
yes, because of course you this is the first time I've ever heard that, by the way, like separating B2C and B2B. You always normally hear like the strategies are different, the approaches are different. But I like the way that you approach it and the way you talk about it, in the sense that it really comes down to who you are, so to speak, right? Like what message are you putting out there, and the real value. Are you really giving value back there? And I think that's where it all comes down to. It feels like
absolutely.
you're going down to the nitty gritty of it. You're going to down to the core of it. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. It's it's what matters is what value you are giving. Erin, where was the inspiration behind this? I mean, with all your experiences, how did you were able to narrow down that? How did you able to figure out that this was the most important, crucial aspect to focus on?
It's again, it depends on where your money is coming from. And my
Mm,
perception, my understanding of what's happening right now on the market, that
mhm,
all business and all transactions are coming to money and to sales,
mhm.
which is not correct, because we know a lot of people, even in service industry, who sell, 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 and sell,
Yeah,
and nobody
all the time.
buys, right? So what
Oh.
is the point of selling if somebody
Mhm.
isn't buying? So, which means that your money is not coming from sales, it's coming from purchasing. And
Wow.
people purchase according to their motivations and what they're after the most. And
Wow.
you need to understand it, because you can't push your sale. Yes, it is possible, but it's not going to be long term. And then we
Mhm,
start looking at the funnel,
mhm,
and everybody is talking about loyalty or advocacy or repeat
mhm,
purchase, and we still try to purchase it either with bribes or with discounts or with something else. So
mhm.
why there's so much attention? Why it is not working? Simply
Why?
because it doesn't work again with human beings. They
Mm,
want to do something only because they want it. None
mm.
other motivation is going to work. So if you want them to want what you offer, you need to understand what makes them want it. Pushing
Wow.
doesn't work. It doesn't work in coaching. It doesn't work in psychology. It doesn't work in educating, raising children. They have to want something.
I love
So
that.
make your customers want what you offer and enjoy interacting with what you offer. And this is how you're going to get your loyal clientele.
I love that. It's almost like you're flipping the table, right? And
Yeah.
it's almost like you're revolutionizing the concept. But it's one thing is also isn't as new, but because no one likes being sold to. No one likes being sold to. Like, you're gonna
Exactly.
sell to
Yeah.
me. No one likes that. But you now, if no one likes being sold to, then what is the real step? What is the actual value that we try to uncover so people actually come in and buy? So if no one likes being sold to, maybe you need to figure out how to get them to buy. Erin, what would that be? What are those steps? What are the strategies that you employed so that people can actually come up with a product or a service that people would actually want to buy, where you don't no longer have to sell or push too hard? Because, like you said, it doesn't work. But how then do we flip the table and think differently?
Joshua, first of all, it does work, but it doesn't work longer term. So that's a
Mm,
different story. Because when we talk about business nowadays, we talk a lot about return on investment. It's
mhm,
something that we assume to get immediately back after we invested into selling or producing
of
something.
course. Mhm,
And the thing is that even return on investment, as big, God that everybody prays to, as it
mhm,
is, it still doesn't work longer term, because what happens with time, your return is going to diminish. You don't create a cumulative effect from
mhm,
what you
mhm,
do, but every
mhm.
time you're giving a push, you're investing into this push, you get something back. But with
Ah,
time, first of all, you're reducing basically the impact of your product and financial impact of
mhm,
what you're selling, but
mhm,
also you condition customers to buy on
mhm,
purchase on discounts.
mhm,
You condition competitors to look at what you do and start offering discounts, which means that you're reducing the margin of the whole category. People
mhm,
start buying according to your discounted periods because they know it's going to be coming, which means that
mhm.
you don't have a constant cash flow that you can rely on.
I
And
see.
with time, because you're not getting back as much, but you still need to invest into pushing,
Right.
your cash is going to be thinning out.
Ah,
So that's the whole thing about return on investment and about pushing sales. And what's
okay.
also important, that very often we believe that if we push at a certain step,
Mhm,
then we made a sale. We don't forget, but we forget about the fact that people can actually return it back. It happens in FMCG,
of
less
course.
probably in services, although it is also possible. So you
Of
pushed
course.
it, you rely on it, and then you say full back guarantee, 50% money back guarantee. Off you
Mhm,
go, your cash flow diminished. So,
mhm.
and to avoid being in this situation, because it's up and down, it's up and down,
Yes,
and
of
this,
course.
thing is gonna basically, the amplitude is going to
That's it.
reduce with time. So to avoid being in that situation, you need to know about two things about your customer. The first one, their needs, and the second one, their wants. Often in business, we talk about needs and
Needs.
what are their pains. Oh my God.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
okay.
Pain
But
points.
yeah, exactly. But pain points are rational very often, as well as needs. Same
Okay.
thing.
Hmm.
People don't purchase based, very seldom they purchase based on rational decisions. Often it's emotionally driven.
Of
So you
course.
need to understand, if you look at the pyramid,
Uh-huh.
you need to understand what kind of wants, and wants are emotional needs,
Yes.
what kind of wants your pain points
Hmm.
going to be translated into.
I
When
love
you
that.
understand these wants, then it's going to be easier for you to offer something that's going to motivate your customers
That's it.
purchase.
Fascinating. It's almost
It's
like
not, no, it's not rocket science. I mean, the
it's.
biggest brand we had, it was,
Hmm.
I think it was in 1950, it was Marlboro.
Uh-huh.
And they
Wow.
figured out almost
Oh.
100 years ago, which other method we forgot about it. That's a big difference.
I love that. But of course, I mean, you're helping us remember all of these concepts, and the way you explain it is so
Yeah, 20
simplified.
years, not a spring chicken. Yeah, no.
That's so hilarious. But it's simplified the way you're reminding us now, and it's like it's in a way that I feel like we've forgotten, because we're always like pain point, pain points. How do we address these things? But again, like you said, buying is emotional, purchasing is emotional. It almost feels like you said, there's a point in time in pushing, and it works. But when it starts diminishing, it almost feels like you need to learn from that sales process. What are the mistakes? How can you improve that
Mhm.
product? What values can you return? What emotions are you addressing as you keep pushing that
Yeah,
sales
absolutely.
process, so to speak? It's very fascinating in that, in the sense that it's happening every day. But why do you think we miss such a big detail today?
I think it's going to be my question to you, back to you. There's one
Wow.
thing that I realized. Well, you're younger generation, so I'm curious to hear where you're going to be coming from. So one
Hmm.
thing I realized, when we need somebody to fix our bathroom, we will be looking for a plumber with experience or
Hmm.
knowledge of doing what they do, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
If you want to have something built, you're probably going
Hmm.
to be looking at a constructor that
Of
with good
course.
reputation and the skill that they know how to do it.
Yes.
When you decide to be chef in the restaurant, ideally Michelin, you
Right.
are supposed to know how to cook.
Of course.
It's a
Yes.
basic job that we're talking about, and we're always looking for people with knowledge.
With knowledge,
There are three
expertise.
areas that we presumably don't need to have knowledge in because we're naturally born to be
Hmm.
successful in these three areas. So
Hmm.
the first one is raising pets, raising children, and building a business.
Oh,
So, my
okay.
question to you, why when we look for a plumber, we're supposed to have somebody who knows how to do it, but when we decide to start a business, we believe that we know it all?
That's it.
I don't know. I
That's
don't
it.
have I don't have an answer.
I feel like it's almost because we were taught that you're supposed to figure it out along the way. Right?
It's like
When
raising
it's
children, right? And
You're
then
right.
having them
Which is,
fruit. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a horrible approach with raising children. How could you? You might figure
Mhm.
it out along the way, but I get it.
Mhm.
I get it, of course. That's what we were taught when it comes to business as well. But I feel like there's better ways to do it. And I feel like that's what you're helping at, especially with business, right? There are better ways to kind of approach it where you don't go in blindly. You offer help with you ask for help from people who are actually going to coach you to be better, you know, be better parents. There's knowledge out there to be better raising at your babies, your business, so to speak, as well. And I feel, Erin, a lot of this revolves around values. And this is, I think, one of your messages as well, in that you've been recognized for your dedication to ethical practices, right? Like ethical leadership when it comes to business. And why do you think that is vital today in today's corporate environment? And how do you instill these ethical leaderships in your clients? Have you faced any common challenges when it comes to talking about ethics when it comes to corporate clients, so to speak?
Well, to start with, I don't work with corporate clients
Oh,
because I'm powerless,
right,
right?
right, right.
As
Okay,
much
okay,
as
okay.
I can do. So, let's put this category aside. Um,
Hmm.
Ethics are important for many different reasons, including, sleeping well. Have you ever thought about it that when you're in line with your ethic, your personal ethics, and your values, that you're gonna have a better, more sound sleep
I love
at
that.
night?
I love that, Aaron. Of
Let's
course.
start with that. And in the
Okay.
morning, when you slept well and you're more refreshed, you can go to business feeling already much better about it. So
I
that's
love
one
that.
easy benefit. Another
Hmm.
benefit, depending who your clients are, but most, especially younger generation, they would be looking for ethical businesses because it becomes one of the, I would say, differentiation points for a business. It's something that is appreciated.
Hmm.
Some investors that also prioritize ethical businesses.
Right,
We talk
right.
a lot about employees and morale and culture.
Hmm.
So if you treat your clients ethically and if you treat your people ethically,
Hmm.
what are the chances that they're going to reciprocate?
Wow. Of
What
course.
are the
Of course.
chances that you're going to select partners that are
Mhm.
resonate with your values of
Values. Hmm.
ethics,
Hmm.
which means that you're going to be more comfortable
Hmm.
building business with them?
Hmm. Of course.
What are chances that positive PR or
Hmm.
governmental institution would appreciate what you're doing
Hmm.
and in a way support you within, obviously, the limits of what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
So ethics, if you look at it, they don't cost you anything.
I
There's a
love it.
thing that costs nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Of
somehow,
course.
in a different extent, makes everybody be better off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe that's so important. And
Why?
again, if you
Yes.
want to sleep better, then be in line with your own consciousness.
That's it. I love that because, first of all, if you can't sleep well, you're not going to do your business properly. You're going to be all over the place because you knew you did something wrong. You knew you weren't aligned with your ethics, and you're always constantly thinking of that. You're always troubled by that. And I
Yeah.
feel like, again, this comes down to the way you take it to another level when it comes to mindset as well and business transformation. You talk about the importance of mindset, achieving effortless business and life success. Can you provide a practical example of shifting one's mindset that can lead to significant business transformation? I know this is part of your message as well. Could you share it to us that a little bit?
Yeah. So I identify four. There used to be three. Now there are four different
Hmm.
things that I believe
Wow.
make our business life
Hmm.
and life
Hmm.
uh, filled with struggle that we don't
Hmm.
need. So the first one is running like headless chickens. Second one being trapped in a hamster wheel.
Hmm.
Third one being stuck in a rat race. And the fourth one, the new one, is crowing like a rooster in a hen house.
Crowing like a rooster in a
Crowing
hen
for a
house. Yes.
house.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So
Interesting.
it's like it might go far, business far.
Yes.
And all the things, they all come from the mindset. The problem is that when we experience them, we already experience them at the level of actions
Yes.
because that is here and now, and it's so much easier
Right.
to pay attention to. And
Mm-hmm.
then because it's just in front of us and we know
Mm-hmm.
that the actions are not quite working, in the
Mm-hmm.
best case scenario, we're trying to fix the actions. But
Interesting.
actions don't come from nowhere. They are produced by a certain channel or
Mm-hmm.
chain of events or thinking and motions. So
Mm-hmm.
actions actually the latest point
Of course.
in this chain.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to make it easier, if we want to make it less challenging for ourselves, we need to find the source of our actions. And the
Okay.
source of our actions is our thinking as a mindset.
The
So if you
mindset.
fix it
Yes.
here, if you
Right.
fix it here, then all other things that you can see on a daily basis that are so annoying and so frustrating and so overwhelming,
Mm,
they will be fixed in
wow.
one go. That is
In
as
one go.
easy as that. And
Wow.
when you ask me for an example, I can give you example absolutely adore. It's about which one would it be? I would say you're gonna fill into rat race thing.
Right. Please. I love
We
that.
in business will
Hmm.
have objectives.
Good.
Oh my dear God, even worse, we'll have goals because it's just big one. It's a hairy, big audacious hairy goal. Yeah, so that we set it, and that's what we do. We strive. We put
Right.
all our efforts together because
Uh-huh.
our goal is on the horizon, and we just it's like a locomotion. Go, get
Yes.
go.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right? So
Hmm.
on the way to that goal, obviously, we gonna exhaust ourselves because
Mm,
we try. The goal is there. We're not achieving. So the whole thing is the mental pressure that we're experiencing. It's very
right.
subtle in a way, but the
Hmm.
mental pressure is coming from the fact that you're trying to get to this goal, but you can't achieve it. So
Interesting.
assuming to achieve it, there's two things can happen. The first thing you achieve it, you celebrate, you get drunk. The second one, you don't achieve it, you feel disappointed, you get drunk. So basically, the result is exactly the same. But
Okay.
on the
Okay.
second, in the second scenario, it's actually going to affect your self-esteem
Mm,
because you haven't achieved the goal, which means that something is wrong with you or with your team, and actually, it's not the right place to start the next year from.
yes,
If
of
you
course.
achieve it, it's a very interesting picture. If you can picture it in your head, that you climb to the mountain, to the top of the mountain, and you achieved your goal, what you can see in front of you. more hills and more mountains, because now you have the whole landscape just in front of your eyes, which means that you achieved one. Can you relax? No, because it's going to be next one, and then it's going
Yes.
to be next one, right?
That's it.
So that approach to achieving the goal and giving all yourself to get to this goal actually is quite mentally pressuring.
Of course. Of course.
Okay, the same thing. Call the goal a vision or a destination. I love the word destination. This is where you want to be. But a destination, it just has a slightly different weight. It's not the same heavy as goal. It's just
Of
where
course.
you're going to.
Yes.
And then look at the approach of not giving yourself all to get there, but
Mm-hmm.
what I can do today to make it better.
Wow.
So every day you look at today, and then you look at today, and every time you try to make it better. And profitability and longevity in business come from many different streams. It's not again one dimensional. It's not only about sales. It's about many things that's supposed to work in unison. So if you try to improve all of these streams on a daily basis, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think? Will your
Well,
business improve? Yes.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Will your mental pressure be reduced? Yes,
Of
because you're
course.
not getting there, you just make it better here and now. So you
Interesting.
are getting to the
Interesting.
same goal, but with a totally different mindset. And this is what makes it much easier.
I love
Oh,
that. I love that. Of course. Well, Erin, I love these concepts. I love the shift in mindset. There are, of course, other mindsets out there that you shared with us that we didn't get to tackle today. But if our audience and listeners would love to learn more, of course, there's your website, erinandreacraske.com. Craske is spelled with Craske.com. Make sure you check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you are also on YouTube and follow Erin on Instagram at Erin Andrea Craske as well. Erin, is there anything else that you'd love to share to us? Where can we connect with you? Where else can we find you?
oh, you can find me in the show notes.
That's it.
Let's
It's
make
in
it
the show
easy
notes
for
as well.
everybody.
But of course, the book from purpose to profit is out there everywhere. It's up on Amazon as well. Erin, thank you so much for your insights today, for your experience. I totally enjoyed it. I wish I could have you on here longer.
Thank you very much for segueing the way you did. Questions were really interesting, and I was the way you kind of approach it, moving from one question to another and building on what was said. It was really impressive. So thank you
Oh,
for that.
thank you so much, Erin. Of course, it's an honor. I'm quite excited again to have you on here, and I always try to make these moments meaningful, and I hope our audience found just as much meaning and value today on
I
this
hope
episode.
so too. Yes. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Erin, and to all our audience and listeners out there. Make sure to go check out Erin. Go get a copy of her book and get connected. Erin, thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
To all our audience and listeners out there, we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.